Okay, welcome to Pilsen. Now, the main points for this map are going to be around here, where the heavy tanks and the more heavily armoured tanks are going to go. Over on this side of the map, this is basically no man's land. You shouldn't really be here unless you're in a light tank. Now, the reason being is light tanks are obviously very fast, so they can actually go in here, do the spotting and go back, or try and hide. Because if you go here in a slower tank, you're basically as good as dead. Because if you don't die going here, then trying to get out of here, you're going to die. There's going to be TDs sitting around here and also around here. You can also get TDs sitting around here and here. So just keep that in mind. Once whoever wins this, if you push this way, more than likely there's going to be 1 or 2 TDs over here. And vice versa, push this way. TDs might be over here as well. Medium tanks, you can actually use this little 0 line to actually go down and hide behind this ridge line, which is like a railway line or little embankment here that you can go to. But let's now get into the video. Okay, so starting off with the light tanks as we always do. First spot is just going to be this one over here. Now, it's not really anything special. You're just going to be trying to use this as an active scouting location. If there is an EBR on the enemy team, it doesn't stop you from doing this if you're not in an EBR. Because as long as you load HE or something like that, then chances of you actually, killing the EBR are quite high. But as you can see, all of this over here, you just want to use these mounts to your advantage and use it as protection. Because you never really want to be peeking up like this at all and going over this mound right here and vice versa. If you're over this side, you don't want to do that. So just use these mounds, make sure that you're kind of hidden from TDs and stuff if you are going to stop for whatever reason. But yeah, this spot, pretty self-explanatory. Just run around, do a bit of spotting, and just hide. Now, there are a couple bushes around here that you can go into. Like, you could go into them, but then you don't really have the best of vision. What I would suggest is that if you're going to try and sit into a bush, then you can actually go up and into one of these. Now, to find the correct bush for your location is going to be quite hard, especially as these bushes aren't like the greatest bush. But you can sit into one of these, for example, and as long as there's no one in the middle that's going to spot you, you should be fine. Again, this isn't great because you're going to be trying to spot the middle and you might as well just be going into the middle to do some active scouting at this point, but it can work. Alternatively, you could go into, say, one of these bushes and then try and spot anyone that's trying to come down here. The same for one of these, straight down the middle. Just any of these bushes, just see which ones work for you, because there's plenty down here. The one thing that I would say is make sure you keep an eye on your spotting range, because if you're obviously not within the spotting range, then you're not going to spot the enemy. So just keep that in mind at all times, and you should be good. But that's pretty much it for light tanks. The same goes for the other side. You can't really go into the middle or around here because it's instantly you're just going to get spotted and you're dead. So, and there's no real spots for you to actually hide. So if you're in a light tank, you should not cross this line here unless there is 0 people on this side of the map and you've killed everyone else. So, yep, that's light tanks. This map isn't really light tank friendly, apart from this side. But yeah, let's now move on to the medium tanks. Okay, so the medium tanks. Now, down the 0 line is where I'd suggest you go. Yes, you can go into the middle and try and cause a little bit of mayhem in here, but the less experienced player, I would not suggest to do that. One, because the more experienced player will know when it's a good time to go there and when it's a good time to leave, whereas the less experienced player probably won't know that. So just try and stick to this for now if you're not a very experienced player, but if you know what you're doing, then by all means, go and try out the middle. But this bush right here is where I would suggest you try and sit, just simply because it's giving you a good enough camo. You're not going to be spotted by anyone in the middle since there's solid bush cover all along here, and as you can see, there's the rail line right there, so you're actually pretty safe from anyone that's been in the middle right here. The only thing that you do need to watch out for is if you get spotted, you can get shot by the TDs. The exact same thing can be said if you've pushed up into this bush, for example. If the enemy are in that bush, then you're going to get spotted absolutely instantly as soon as you get into here. So you need to quickly either just go down into here and then you're safe from the TDs and try and get behind this bit here, Or the alternative is that you push straight down into this dip, but you're completely exposed then to the TDs. And here's the reason why. It goes down kind of sloping this way for this railway line. So if you're pushed down here, as you can see, you're going to be a little bit exposed to anyone that's up on that ridge line. As you can see right there, if we just go through the bushes, for example, right here. Yes, there's a little thing here, but that can just be destroyed. That's no issue. Up there is where they're going to be sitting. And they will be able to see your turret. So if you don't have a good turret, you're just going to be absolutely slaughtered here. So, yes, you can get down and relatively safe. If you're on a lower profile tank, then this can work. But you just need to be careful of that. If you go back here, then you're safe. But if you go up to there, then you're quite exposed. The Skoda isn't like the tallest vehicle in the game, but so for the majority of medium tanks, sitting in this spot will be okay. But when you go up here, you need to make sure that you either have a very strong turret or you know what you're doing, because you're going to get shot by the people that are sitting over there. So just keep that in mind. And also, it's very, very easy to be rushed from this spot, whereas over there, it's a little bit harder, because the chances are that you're going to have one or two TDs sitting over here. And if you have zero support on this line, do not go down it. It's not worth it to go down this line on your own. Sure, there might be 0 people that have spotted over this side of the map. Still, you don't want to go anywhere on the map when you're on your own. But yeah, that's just that's the medium tanks. Let's now move on to the heavy tanks. But yeah, medium tanks are pretty easy to kind of use on this map. As I've said, with all my other map guides, medium tanks can go pretty much anywhere they want and make most positions work. You can even go and set up over there if you really want to, if you're more of a supporting role. And if you're a heavy medium tank, 430U for example, you could go into the city and battle it out with the heavy tanks. But now, let's move on to the heavy tanks. So, guess where we're going with the heavy tanks? Yep, into the city. Now, this is relatively easy to play for heavy tanks. There's a fair few locations that you can go hold down on this map. There's not too many places that are kind of an issue, because for the most part, it's pretty well defended with its flanks for either side. And if you're getting flanked, it's more down to the fact that your team has just left it completely open, or it's your fault. So down around here is the first spot that I'll show you. You can go hold down if you've got a gun that's got a bit more gun depression, but I mean, this is what they'll see. So yeah, I mean, good luck with that. Like, you're not really going to go through that unless you get lucky and hit the cupola. So, or you're firing heat, which 90% of the players are. But that's besides the point. In here is the second spot, and you can go hold down again into this location. If you have a little bit more gun depression, then you can actually just peek up over this, or you're a little bit taller tank, for example, you can go over that. But you can go here if you wanted to. The main points are going to be around here for the enemy, and around here. So they're the 2 points you need to watch out for this location. And the exact same thing can be said. There's also another little hold down spot you can go to, but it's kind of only visible for that side. The other spot is over here, which is the spot that I like to go to because you can side scrape from it, which is just here. Now, this is mainly for this spot here because you're completely safe from everywhere else, and also safe from artillery's cover. Or sorry, from artillery. As you can see, this roof has it's seen better days, but that means that artillery shells can just absolutely splat you from basically anywhere over this side of the building. So if you're over here, the artillery is going to have to be over there to be able to shoot you, and most of the artillery on this map is going to be up on this bit here, or they're going to be over on this bit here. Some going to stay around spawn, although every time that I've seen them, there's been more artillery on this hill and this hill than there have been elsewhere. So, you know, just watch out for that. So, this spot is very nice. I mean, 277 isn't the greatest side scraping tank because it's kind of quite flat here. But you can make it work, and you can also even go hold down against the middle of the map and also over there with this location around here. So there's plenty of spots on this side. I'll quickly go over to the other side right now. And as you can see, even this side is pretty well held down for you to actually go to. There are a few spots that you can go to around here to try and get some flanking maneuvers going on around this building. Although you are so exposed when you come out through here and through here to try and get there, that it's not really worth doing unless you're in a very fast tank. You can do it, it's not impossible, but the chance of you taking quite a fair bit of damage is quite high. So I wouldn't really recommend you do that. 277 could probably do it, although there's nothing to go hold down behind over here. So it is just a straight out brutal fight with whoever else you're going to meet around there. So just keep that in mind. The next spot is just around here. This is actually quite a nice spot to be in, because you can go all the way back here for a lot, and well, you have so much cover back here. It's kind of unreal. Like, you're completely artillery safe, so if you know that the enemy are pushing, you could hold this angle down. One, you can shoot the middle of the map, and also you can shoot people that are over there pretty easily. You can go and try and side scrape for this position over here, as you can see, just like that. And also you could even side scrape for the people over there, although you are exposing yourself a little bit as you go closer to this wall, as you can see. So they're the two locations for this building. Again, it's massively open for this roof. It's not as bad for this side, but you will still get artillery fire coming down on you from here, and also you can get artillery fire coming down from over there. So both sides can be hit by artillery, although they're going to have to get quite lucky to get a direct hit on you, as this roof will protect you quite a bit, and they're going to have to go and kind of loop it over this building and through here, so it's going to be quite a lucky shot to do it. But yeah, that's basically this building. There is a little spot over there, which is right here, where you can go hold down and try and get some shots on people that are onto that corner as well, if you have a high enough tank. I think a T-30 or something like that can actually go here. But yeah, that's basically all the spots for heavy tanks. You don't really need to go anywhere else. As I've said, you can go over this way, although you're going to be very, very exposed. One, to any TDs or artillery that's sitting over on this position here and this position here. They'll easily have shots on you straight down this corridor. Every time you try and push something, they're going to be ready to absolutely decimate you as soon as you're pushing. So keep that in mind. That's heavy tanks. Let's now move on to the TDs. Okay, so finally, the tank destroyers. Now, for this side, you can go any of these bushes. The exact same thing is for the other side. You've got some solid cover either side. This side being these, like, kind of pipes. And the other side being that building over there, which you can see there. What I would say is, don't go into this spot here. Because, one, say, for example, you want to go back, make the bush completely solid so that you can shoot through it. One, you have these kind of things here, which are just going to get you spotted instantly. And two, to get far enough back on the bush, you're exposing yourself to this line here. And if someone's in that bush there, they're going to spot you straight away as soon as you fire. So it's not really worth to go this side. If you're in a light tank, then maybe you could go into that bush to try and get some spots. Although, it's not really worth it, let's be honest, if you're in a light tank and going over there. So instead, what I would suggest you do is pull back behind these bushes. You can even go forwards, get some spotting, then pull back if you really want to. But you'll be able to see everyone that's over there in these bushes there without any issues. So this is spot number one. We're now going to move over to the other side, which is over here. And I will also show you this side because they are slightly different. Okay, so for this spot over here, it's relatively the same as the other one. You just need to make sure that you're behind the bushes when you fire. You can go through them to try and get the spotting, but you just need to always be careful of knowing what is in front of you. So if, for example, the heavy tank is sitting down here just pull back, fire, go forwards, spot him. He's not going to spot you if your camo rating is 10 times better than his. However, if it's a light tank and you're pushing through to this bush and he's getting closer and closer, you're going to get spotted. So you just need to be careful of that. At all times, for TDs, the biggest kind of thing that you can do is knowing what the enemy's view range is roughly. And if you kind of know what that is, then you can determine what your camo rating is and then work out kind of will they spot you, will they not. Once you kind of learn like that, then you'll get 10 times better at the game, especially with TDs, because you won't get spotted as much. And also, just never fire like this straight through the bush, because it's just not worth it. Always go back, wait until it becomes solid, then fire, because the chances of you getting spotted then are just 10 times better than it would be just firing like this. But as you can see, we can see pretty much the entirety of this. It's a very nice spot. You will probably have your little artillery friends up here with you, so you can get behind them and bait them. Wait, I didn't say that. But let's now go over to the other side of the map and we'll close out this map guide. Okay, so the reason why I said that this side of the map is a little bit different is because this side is a lot more open than the other side. As you can see, look how much ground they have to actually cover to come and get you. Whereas the other side, there was kind of a building that was relatively close, that building there, and you had quite a few buildings to try and protect you. Whereas from here, there's so many spots where they can actually pop up and shoot you that you need to always be ready for them. So there's no point sitting in these bushes here, unless you want to sit in there right next to the edge of the map, then sure, that can work, but then you're limiting your actual gun arc for where you want to shoot, because you won't be able to shoot straight ahead because this building will be in the way. So I would always suggest you kind of go over to here, because this bush over here will give you lots of cover, and also you can even see into the cap. If you have binoculars, you will know very high view range, you'll be able to see into the cap. We might even be able to spot the little pay to noob. Hang on. We go like this, and then we go binocs. There we go. There he is. See? So, there's lots of spots around here that you can go to. You can also then just use your... As long as you have a turret on your TD, then you're actually pretty safe. Because as you can see all the way into the cap circle here, and you can see all the way over there. The only thing that you won't be able to see is this mound here, so if they're coming up through there, but you could just go forward slightly and then you'll be able to see them. So, yep, that's TDs. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, then you know what to do. And consider joining the Discord. We've got quite a few people on there now. So yeah, lots of people that are like-minded with water tanks. So yeah, come and hang out if you really want to. And I'll see you all later on.